Katz, Facebook, Tony Katz Radio. Be sure to like the page. Do that now and have a very happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you. Until then, I mean, if this is the last moment before you eat until you puke. Have a very happy Thanksgiving. Let's talk weed, which is a great way to get ready for Thanksgiving. Because if you're not in the mood, a little weed, all of a sudden you'd be like, whoo, someone made turkey. And the rest is history. In Indiana, the Attorney General is not playing around. And the Attorney General has said that cannabis oil is illegal, which is kind of strange because there is a situation by which you can take cannabis oil by law, which is if you're somebody with epilepsy. This, according to the Attorney General himself.
Those particular individuals do have an exemption that would be exercised in the form of an affirmative defense. In other words, it is unlawful to possess, but it is a defense to that based upon the statute if you fall into that category.
But this may all be moot because you can't even buy the stuff. There are places that have been told they're not allowed to sell this cannabis oil or the CBD oil. Right? According to Hill, it is a Schedule I controlled substance because marijuana is a Scheduled I controlled substance. But the Attorney General was very clear to say this is not about what he thinks personally.
My personal opinions are not at play here. Our responsibility was to review the statute and review the legislative intent and make a determination as best we could.
Now, I want to make sure I'm on, I think I'm on the same page with a lot of people. And if not, I'm willing to have absolute disagreements. I am not discussing, for the sake of this conversation, whether or not marijuana should be legalized. I'm not discussing whether or not you should be able to get high in your own living room. I'm not discussing whether or not it's against the law or should be against the law to have a couple of plants and maybe an investment into the right kind of lighting. I'm not discussing any of that. Cannabis oil is for people who simply can't find other options to getting some levels of relief, whether that be epilepsy or other issues. I oppose the idea that we as a nation are opposed to people reducing pain or reducing symptoms of their life that make it impossible for them to function. It's why when the city of Indianapolis wants to sue opioid manufacturers that I say directly to the mayor of Indianapolis, Joe Hogsett, you're doing this wrong. It's an embarrassment. The opioid manufacturer has created a product that has allowed millions of people in America and around the world, never mind just right here in Indianapolis or central Indiana, to live lives that are worthwhile and meaningful. No one should have to live in pain. That is not part of God's plan. That does not make any sense. We have the tools. We have the technology. We can solve these things, so let us. I believe that with the CBD oil, it's the same way. Cancer patients or others who can get some relief, they should live in pain. Their parents, their families should watch them live in pain because you, the one on the outside looking in, think that you know what's best for them. I reject this. Now, here in Indiana, we already have two state senators, Tomes and, is it Doriot? D-O-R-I-O-T. I hope I'm not pronouncing the name wrong, Blake, Senator Doriot. They have said there's still a lot of misunderstanding regarding what CBD oil is, where it comes from, and what it does. It does not create a high, but what it can do is help those who suffer with multiple seizures a day. And they are telling us that there will be legislation in 2018 that brings this up. Yeah, and they're going to get support. They're going to get a lot of support from the people of Indiana. They're going to get a lot of support from people who are dealing with pain and who are suffering and watching their own family members, including children, suffer. I mean, that's the way it's going to play out. If you want to utilize children in that way to kind of sell the story, you can. I think it goes to it can be done in a much better way. And allow me, people should not have to live with pain when we can prevent the pain. They shouldn't. You don't have to take the CBD oil. You shouldn't be allowed to prevent other people from taking the CBD oil. And if you say to me, well, if they took cocaine, they'd feel better. No, we're not having that conversation. What an insulting and nonsense thing to say. And, oh, by the way, not true. They might not feel better for a short amount of time. For sure, they might not feel anything for a short amount of time. We should not stop people from being able to reduce their pain. I think that's a terrible idea. I don't think it's a healthy idea. I don't think that's a decent or moral place to be. You want to regulate it? You want to keep it in check? Okay. I'm only talking about the CBD oil. Of course, we should make this legal in Indiana. And I only hope we do sooner rather than later. Traffic and Matt Bear, what's going on, Matt?
All right, Tony, we have a problem now coming down inbound 6.